and welcome to Denman Cookery School. My name is Ashley Keane, and in this episode I'm going to be making fish cakes. Fish cakes can be made with pretty much any fish, but today I'm using a sustainably caught haddock. What I'm going to do is poach the haddock in milk and flavourings. And I'm going to mix it with some mashed potato. So I've already made the mashed potato by boiling some floury potatoes. These ones were King Edwards that I peeled, boiled from cold, and then let steam dry. When I mashed them, I didn't worry about getting completely smooth mash, as it's quite nice to have different textures and a bit of chunks. So with that to one side, I'm going to heat the milk in a pan. And to that, I'm going to add some garlic, bay leaf, and some onions, and also a good pinch of salt. Then I'm just going to gently pop in my fish. You may need to move it about a bit. And then this is just going to gently poach in the milk with the flavourings. Okay, next up I'm going to chop some parsley, capers, ready to go into the mashed potato. Either of these you can omit. I like the freshness from the parsley and the lovely salty bursts from the capers. Okay, then I've got the capers. Put the capers onto the board. And again, just roughly chop these into the parsley. Let's add that to our mash. And along with that, I'm just going to zest some lemon into it. Okay. And then you can either use a spoon or your hands. I just prefer my hands, just to combine that. Once your fish is cooked, use a slotted spoon to remove it from the milk. You'll tell it's cooked because it'll be firmer, and rather than translucent, it will be white. And just pop it all in the bowl. That can sit to one side for the moment. And then we're just going to strain the rest of the liquid. Okay, now we've got what we need to finish the fish cakes. We're going to add a bit more seasonings to our mash. So we've got some Dijon mustard. I'm going to use an egg. This is to help bind it together and keep it together when it's cooking. I'll just give those a stir through. Make sure the mustard and egg properly disperse through the whole thing. We're going to use the cooking liquid from the fish just to loosen out the mixture slightly. What we don't want to do is add too much and it be too wet and they'll fall apart. Just do a little spoon or pour at a time and give it a stir around. So, if you see, mine now is wet enough. It's just keeping its form. It's not falling apart too much. Any more liquid and we might collapse when it's formed into the fish cakes. And then finally, we're going to add our fish. We're just going to flake it in. So we want to try and keep as much chunks as we can with the fish. Using my hands, I'm just going to bring it together. So rather than properly mixing it, where we're going to lose any texture, I'm just going to gently combine the fish with the potato. Okay, now it's time to shape. This amount of mixture will roughly get you about 4 patties. If you want to be exact, you could weigh all the mixture together and then divide it into 4 equal weights, or just do it roughly. And I'm bringing it together with both hands, using both hands to shape and press the mixture together like that. And then just popping it onto a lined baking sheet. If you've found that you've added too much of your cooking liquor, of the milk, what you can do is use some breadcrumbs, either gluten-free or normal breadcrumbs, and add those to the fish cake, and they will soak up and dry out the mixture a bit to make it easier to handle. Now, these are ready to go into the oven, or you can refrigerate them until ready to use, or they are now ready to freeze. If you're going to freeze them for an hour on a flat baking tray like this, and then when they're frozen on the outside, you can just pop them into a Ziploc bag or some sort of bag, and then they can go into your freezer that way. Okay, so here's our fish cakes out of the oven. Because of the way the oven is, they've actually all only coloured on one side. To prevent this, unless your oven is completely even, what you could do is pan fry them first, and then put them in the oven just to finish off heating all the way through. So, thank you very much for watching. If you want further recipes or videos, please visit the WI website.